I did a lot of jogging now. It had been a week since Ari left, and the pain of separation didn't get any easier. In fact, it was getting worse with each passing day. I found myself in her silo a few days back. I managed my panic attack, breathing in her fading scent like I couldn't breathe without it. After I regained my calm, surrendering to the hurt that clawed at my heart, I wiped my tears and made a decision. I ordered the silo to be emptied. The mattress and the old dresser were thrown out without delay. They were in such bad shape. When they moved her dresser, I found a small door. I peeked through it and found a small pear tree. All the plants were in broken pots, creatively fixed. I could see the care she gave this little garden. I saw how the silo had been blocked in by the addition to the building, which was the kitchen. No wonder I couldn't find my journal. I mean, until I became bound to Ari, I didn't even know we had a silo. The fact that she kept the book safe for me all these years amazed me. I was angry at myself for not noticing how wonderful she was earlier. I never even gave her a second thought until we were moonbound. Thinking back, she was always somewhere in the background, calm, quiet, alone. Had she suffered alone all this time? Had I done anything to help her? I couldn't remember if I had tried to stop the other cubs from tormenting her, if I even noticed the younglings bullying her.
If I could run, just run to her now. I could hold her and—
Stop, Wolf. I can't go down that road. I told the staff to move the plants in Ari's little garden to the main garden. Seems a shame to waste it, I said. I had them move the small tree and the jasmine to my room. No one questioned it. Her pillow was all I had left that carried her scent, but it was fading. Luckily, the aroma from the blossoms worked to enhance her scent enough to grant me some sleep. And yet, the energy of the moon woke me. It wasn't quite full yet, but it was bright. It enhanced the bond, and I could feel Ari's energy in the distance. I stood at the window, my hand lightly touching the glass. Ari, are you crying?
I woke up, streaks of tears on my cheek drying uncomfortably. It had been a hard night. I barely slept, and when I did, I saw Reed. Except Reed was curled up and miserable just like me. I had mixed feelings about this image. First, it was impossible for Reed to feel like I do. Second, I was glad he didn't feel like I did. Third, I guess a part of me wanted him to feel my pain, which is why I transposed him to my situation. I felt like such a helpless, hopeless nothing, and I didn't like that. I needed to be more proactive in making my life work. I'd been working on my resume at the library, but I was stuck on contact info for the last 10 days. It was clear I needed a phone, so in a proactive decision, I resolved to go to the mall, where some lady had been talking about a deal for new contracts. It shouldn't take long, I thought, and skipped breakfast. Boy, was I naive. It was hours later, with no end in sight, that I found myself getting a migraine from the fluorescent lights of the small glass-walled store. I let my hair down from its tight bun. I waited patiently as the service agent went over the different plans again. Seriously, why did something so simple take so long? People looked in, and I couldn't help but feel like a fish in a bowl. I found myself pulling down at my bangs to hide my eyes. The agent kept smiling. It was late afternoon by the time I was freed. I didn't even bother to try the features on my new phone because I was spent. Forget cinnamon rolls and fancy coffee, which I had planned to get while at the mall. I needed to get out of there. I walked quickly back towards the apartment, feeling like I could break down in tears at any moment. Not only was something as simple as finding a job much more complicated than I ever thought, getting a phone was so draining. It didn't help that, even though it had been more than a week, my mind kept circling back to Reed. My body literally ached. I couldn't keep up my brave facade anymore. I just needed to get home. I needed to put his shirt on and curl up and cry. Feeling like an asthmatic running to an inhaler, I picked up the pace. Just a few more blocks, just around the corner, just one more street. Annoyingly, there was some sort of photo shoot blocking the road to the apartment. I looked around to see if there was any way I could squeeze by. I found a small area where staff were running around. I tried to make my way without being noticed, but the photographer stopped me. The short man blocked my path.
You. Yes, you. Let me look at you. I love those eyes. Yes, we need a model and you would be perfect.
What? I was rushed to a chair, and the hair and makeup team set into work while the man was still talking.
One of the girls called in sick. We pay you by the day. If this photo shoot goes well, we will call you again. Yes?
Yes? I was confused. What did I just agree to? I should have said no, but I wasn't used to saying no. All the years at the manor saying, yes, Alpha, right away. I was trying not to panic, as a group of people flocked me. I looked around, trying to get my bearings, not that it was easy to see while mascara was being applied to my lashes. The imp-like man dressed rather dapper, I noticed. In fact, everyone here looked really nice.
You look dehydrated. Drink this.
A petite blonde girl handed me some type of fruit juice. It was delicious and gave me energy. I could feel my stress easing. These people were all so beautiful. Beautiful but not cold like I imagined people in the modelling industry would be. There was something so gentle and welcoming about them, like spring seeping into winter. My senses weren't going off warning me of danger, and this was obviously a legitimate business, with so many people and the big production of it all. Why was I panicking before? Couldn't remember why I was rushing home. There was nothing there except some mystery novels. Oh, and food. Yeah? I was hungry, but the juice had perked me up a lot. I really needed to be more mindful about nutrition. I'd gone a whole day without food because of the stupid phone store.
Wardrobe.
Someone called. I was thrown into a lacy violet dress that looked more like lingerie. Reed wouldn't like this, I thought.
Don't you look stunning?
The blonde assistant said. She had bright blonde curls that she had put into 2 puffed buns on top of her head. Her lashes had glitter on its tips, and her clothes looked clearly designer casual. This girl knew fashion. So a compliment from her felt genuine, and I felt flattered. Really? I asked.
Yes, there's nothing more empowering than exploring your perfection, don't you think? And girl, this outfit does you justice.
Wow. Never had anyone said anything like that to me before. The blonde assistant smiled at me, and I wanted to be friends with her. I looked in the mirror again and really saw myself. The dress hugged my curves, sexy, yet still elegant. It fit so well as if the dress was made for me. Reed's voice reminded me in my head, nothing sexy. It hit me that I was still trying to obey a person who abandoned me. Who was Reed to tell me how to dress? I wanted to look beautiful. I wanted to see what kind of woman I could be. I was tired of wearing rags and hiding behind long bangs. Anger bubbled up in me. Forget Reed, with his nothing sexy. I'm going to explore my perfection or whatever.
Pose!
Another person pulled me in front of bright lights and told me how to pose, where to look. I looked towards the camera.
Oof! Look at that defiance in your eyes. I love it, darling.
The clicking noises sounded annoying to me.
Ooh, yes. I like that.
More clicking noises. No smiling was necessary for this shoot, apparently. The whole episode was finished rather quickly. I was given my clothes back and paid.
Is that really your blouse? It's not a good fit.
The blonde assistant randomly pulled a silky blouse from the rack, being moved past her.
Here, put this on instead. You can keep it.
She asked for my phone number and added her number into my new phone with her name, Trixie.
We'll be calling you a lot. You did good. Love those blue moon eyes.
Blue moon eyes. It was the most wonderful compliment ever given to me, and the new blouse matched the colour perfectly. It felt like air against my skin. When I got back to the apartment, I happily threw my old blouse away. In fact, I dug into Reed's brown leather duffel and pulled out all my clothes, letting myself objectively look at my selection. All of them were meant for 12-year-olds, or in such bad condition I dare not wear in public. I saw my reflection in the mirror. Silky blouse, black pencil skirt that fit my shape. My hair was still styled from the photo shoot with my bangs to the side. For the first time in my life, I liked the way I looked. With the smoky eyes and plum lips, I looked like an adult. I grabbed all my old clothes and threw them away with more force than necessary. Reed banishing me could be the best thing that could happen to me. Without a wolf, I was nothing more than a creepy servant or a midnight snack. I could love myself out here. I was allowed to. I didn't need the pack. I wanted nothing more from them. Except Reed's shirts. Those I'll keep. I sighed and sat on the bed, bringing one of his shirts to my nose and breathing in deeply. My mind wondered what Reed would think if he saw me looking so nice. He had called me beautiful. I saw that now. How he saw it before my makeover was beyond me. But he was kind like that. I almost smiled, remembering he accused me of dressing like I stole clothes from a grade schooler. He was right. The waterfall scent was the only reminder of home. Of him. I only ever felt at home with Reed. All summer I spent looking forward to those short breakfasts with him because I felt like I was at the threshold of where I belonged. Had he let me in, I likely would have broken completely when he asked me to leave. I missed him. Goddess, I had started to really fall for him. No more crying. Why did I feel so attached to him anyway? He banished me, and I was better off. I had to let go. I stared at the shirt still in my hand, unable to put it down. The half moon peeked through the window. I'm here. I didn't respond. Instead, I succumbed to my coping, changing out of the nice clothes and slipping on Reed's shirt. The moon watched, perhaps lonely because I hadn't spoken to her since the night of the moon blessing. I could feel her waiting. I loved her, but I was still so hurt. Her and Reed. They both abandoned me.
I see you.
I will run to her. You can't stop me.
Yes, I can. I'm locking us in.
No.
It was silly that I had to argue with myself. One more moon until my alpha ceremony and I was fighting with my own wolf. Did I want Ari? Absolutely. My wolf liked to torture me with images of having her in my arms, trying to convince me to go back for her, but my reasoning was solid. Even just today, my reasons were enforced by the way the new wolves were acting. Watching Layla allow her moon call to control her emotions was all the reminder I needed to quell my weakening resolve. Ari needed to be kept away from rampaging wolves, myself included, because seeing Layla made me feel furious and almost out of control.
Layla's stupid. She has no sense of dignity, only pride. And she's mean.
I agree.
You're mean too for locking us in.
I agree. I need to protect her from us. I sighed. I walked myself into the cage room. All youngling rooms had one for the times they weren't in control. I never had to use it before, and I could feel my wolf resenting me. I locked the cage with me in it. My body shook as the moonlight came over the horizon. I slipped into wolf form.
I love her. I love her.
Calm down, wolf. I tried to soothe, but he blocked me, knocking me unconscious from his actions. Morning came, and I could feel the bruises my wolf left on us from his attempts at bashing through the bars. I hissed with the ache of my bruises. He was refusing to heal me. Fine, hurt me, but I'm not changing my mind. It hurt less than how much I missed her anyway. My wolf growled at me, but remained distant. The mirror showed deep purple bruising on my shoulders and collarbone. My hoodie would cover it, but I remembered I didn't have it anymore. Automatically looking out the window in the direction my mate was in, I felt for her. Somehow she felt just as distant as my wolf, and I felt cold and alone.
Trixie was very fun to be around. She made my transition into modelling very easy. I never knew opportunities like this could just fall into your lap. It was interesting to me that people thought I looked pretty, and I liked all the nice clothes that actually fit my body. Nothing overly sexy, usually posing with perfume or brand name purses. I found the entire thing easy and stress-free. On top of it all, they liked my eyes. It was new, looking directly at things and not having to feel shame. They had trimmed my hair just enough to give it an even look, given me a mani-pedi, exfoliated everything, and even gave me a spa treatment my first week on the job. I was glowing. The only odd thing was how they cleaned up after me. All my trimmed hair was gathered up and put into glass jars, as were my nail clippings. The clothes I wore for photo shoots were immediately hung on another rack labelled auction. I asked one of the makeup girls about it, and she told me it was just part of the clean-up process here. The clothes would be auctioned at an event coming up. I assumed it was for some sort of charity. I didn't give it much thought. This was the way they functioned. Simple as that. I was just so grateful for this job. Even if the opportunity was temporary, I was learning so much about self-care and confidence. Trixie even looked after my nutrition, making sure I drank plenty of fluids and got plenty of vitamins. My favourite was this tropical juice she would bring me. It made me feel refreshed and bold. Everywhere I went now, people stopped and stared. After Trixie told me it was because they recognised me from the magazine, and if not, it was because I was beautiful, I stopped feeling overly conscious of it. They were admirers, not people who wanted to harm me. Another new thing. I wasn't afraid. I never realised until now how afraid I had been my entire life. I soaked in this freedom. Still, I spent time at the library trying to fix up my resume. As much as I liked this job, I was sure it wouldn't last. I needed to find a way to provide for myself. I needed to find my own place so I wasn't relying on Reed. I wanted to pay him back and thank him and be independent. I hated that I still missed him, and how at night when I was alone, I clung to his shirt for comfort. I knew I needed to let go. I felt closer to letting him go, though. I embraced his shirt and promised myself, "Soon. I'll get over you soon."